Okay. So welcome to our final day of Pali. Are you happy to end it or sad?
Kind of sad. Well,
Yeah, very good. Julia is very happy. Oh,
No,
it's
no.
all
No,
over.
I mean, I'm happy in holidays, but I would go back next year.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like nice to have like stable every week Dhamma talks. So
Yes.
to be like in the zone.
Yeah, indeed, isn't it? So, welcome everybody. So, now all good things have to end. So the Pali will end today, but it will not end our studies. It's just the beginning of Pali studies and the Dhamma learning. Yeah, no, it is. I think there's more to learn. If we have a little bit more time, end of this, session, we will do another sutra called Pachaya Sutra, Pachaya Pachupan, which is my favorite. Yeah, my Pali, all four Pali sutras are my favorite, but this is a really amazing sutra. So we'll do that at the end if we got a chance. And perhaps, we could start off with some presentations. Yeah, when you want to be the host, let me know. I will make you the host. Yeah. Who wants to go first? Yeah.
Shall I? Oh,
Oh,
Lola.
Manoj.
Lola. No, Lola. You first do.
Yeah.
I thought
Yeah, I can
ladies
go
first.
first.
You
But
can.
could you maybe put the presentation on, or
Yeah. No, I'll make you
because
the
I'm bad
host.
with. Oh,
Huh?
but then
Okay.
I have to do it, right? Or not?
No. Why? What do you? If you want me to, email it to me.
Okay.
I will put it up. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I can find it.
No worries. Take your time. Let me just close my door. So, Bhante, are you going to do a blessing chanting in the meantime?
Yeah,
Yes.
thank you for the inviting me, Dr. Professor Sunil Kariyakarawana and our Dhamma friends. All are welcome to my morning blessings. May all beings be well and peaceful. Blessings of the Buddha. Aranye rukha muleva sunyagarev bhikkhavo anusaret sambuddhang Bayang tumhak no seya no che buddhang sareyat lok jittang narasabhang atadang mang sareyat niyanikang sudesitang no che dhang mang sareyat niyanikang sudesitang atha sanghang sareyat punyakyetang anutterang evang buddhang sarang tanang dhammang sanghang ca bhikkhavo bhayang vachang vitattang va lomahang sona essati etena sacca vajjena sottite hotu sabbada etena sacca vajjena sabbarogo vinassatu etena sacca vajjena hotu te jaya mangalang. Sadhu, sadhu,
Sadhu,
sadhu.
sadhu, sadhu. That's wonderful, Bhante.
Thank you.
So beautifully chanted. And that is a section from the Dhajagga Sutta, isn't it? Yeah?
Yeah.
Dhajagga, have you all heard about the Dhajagga Sutta?
Dhajagga.
Dhajagga, that's a really amazing sutta, especially in troubled times. The Buddha says, when you have a difficult time, reflect on the noble triple gem, the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha. And he gives a really good analogy. When the Devas go onto the war, they look at the flag of either the Sakha, Varuna, Pajapati, etc. And they actually emulate a lot of inspiration, lot of courage, lot of fearlessness through that. So, and the same way, you have to rely on the Noble Triple Gem. But the Buddha emphasizes there is a significant difference between reflecting on the devas, the deva qualities, because they are still in the realm of raga, desha, moha, three poisons, and they are not free from them. Yeah, but the noble triple gem, the Buddha, just reflect on the Buddha. So Buddha is totally, utterly free from the raga, desha, moha, the three poisons. So he says, aranye rukha muleva, either in the jungle, in the forest, or under a tree, sunyagare bhikkhavo. Monks, when you are in the sunyagara, empty house, anusaretha sambuddham. Remember, bring to your mind the Buddha. Anusareta sambuddham. Bhayang tumha kanosia. You will have no fear. Yeah. Noche buddhang sareyat. If you don't remember the Buddha, loka jettang narasabha. Now those are the epithets of the Buddha. Loka jetta. He's the all enlightened, the top of the world. Loka jetta. Narasabha. Narasabha means he's a unique superhuman. Noche buddhang sareyat loka jettang narasabha. Atha dhammang sareyat. Then remember the Dhamma. Niya nikang sudesitang. Niya nikang means it actually, the Dhamma which paves the way for full and complete liberation. Sudesitang, well articulated, well spoken. Noche dhammang sareyat niya nikang sudesitang. If you don't remember the Dhamma, then atha sanghang sareyat. Then remember the sanghas, the community of monks and nuns, lay people, fourfold sangha. Atha sanghang sareyat. Punya khettang anuttarang. So sanghas is a veritable field of merit. Punya khetta, punya kshetra in Sanskrit. So it's a field of merit. Anuttarang, unsurpassed. Yeah. Punya khettang anuttarang. Evang buddhang sarantanang dhammang sanghancha vikho. When you remember the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha in this way, bhayang va chambhitattang va. No fear, no gasping. Yeah. Bhayang va chambhitattang va. Lo mahangso. There is no the body hair rising. So when you are afraid, your body hair rises, rise up. So there is no such thing. So evang buddhang sarantanam dhamman sanghancha bhikkhu bhayang va chambhitattang va lo mahangso nahessati. That will never happen. You will be calm, serene, and composed. And thank you for that, such a lovely blessing. Over to you, Lola. Can you all see the screen? Okay. Yeah, it's a fantastic picture, by the way.
You know of what it is?
What is the setting? Where is this picture from?
The what? Oh, the picture from Bagan in Myanmar.
Ah,
Surprise.
so have you been to Myanmar?
Yes, actually, I wanted to include some pictures and I wasn't sure of what, so I just included all the nice temples and monasteries I went.
Oh, you are one, step ahead of me. I've never been to Myanmar. I'd
Oh,
love
really?
to. Yeah,
Oh,
no,
it's so nice.
really, yeah. No, I've seen the Golden Pagoda, the Swedagong, and yeah, but I've never been there. Yeah, no,
You mean you've seen it from a picture or?
pictures. Yeah, I've seen the pictures. Yeah,
Yeah.
but really would like to go someday.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought it was both, and the Shwedagon Pagoda were, I don't know, one of the most beautiful places I've been.
Really? Wow. So how long did you stay there in Myanmar?
For 2 weeks, I think.
Mm.
Not that long.
Fantastic.
A long time ago.
Yeah. Look at the mountain range.
Yeah, but I was just thinking, is it fake? Because
Sorry?
I was just thinking, is it fake? Because I see like the temple coloring seems to be like see-through, but maybe
Yeah.
I'm just seeing
I
something that's
also
not there.
used one's picture like that and was generated also like, you know, like some,
Is it?
Oh,
Is it?
really? Okay,
yeah.
probably that.
No, but maybe some of these pictures, I mean, you know, they may be because there's bit sunshine. But anyway, okay, over to you.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, my presentation is on woman according to the Buddha, the
Mhm.
beginning of the Non's Order, the Soma Sutta, and its deeper meaning. I chose this subject and a sutta within this subject because a friend of mine sent me an article from, I don't know if you know it, but the Groene Amsterdammer. It's a Dutch news website, something like that. And there was an article about how misogynistic the Buddha supposedly was, according to the text from the Pali Canon. And so I was really curious to see if that was actually true or not. So I started looking at suttas and also secondary literature on it.
Yes.
And I found a book which I found really interesting, is if anyone else is interested. It's called Buddhism After Patriarchy by Rita Gross, and she offers a feminist perspective of the Buddhist text.
Mm.
And yeah, if you can do the next slide.
Yeah. But can I say, I mean, it's totally, utterly false that I think the Buddha was, I mean, you know, considering the 6th century BC where, you know, women.
Yes, that's exactly what I was gonna get
Okay,
to.
okay. I should not steal your thunder. Okay.
Maybe you can put it in, Sunil, you can put it in a presentation mode.
Okay.
Because right
Sorry.
now it's
It's like
slideshow, yeah.
Oh yeah, then it's
Okay.
bigger.
Is this a
Yeah.
presentation?
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So as you said, I thought, yeah, 5th, 6th century BCE in India, the status of women was really low. I don't know if I can put it like that, but because Brahminical culture was very prevalent at the time, and in the Manusmriti and other texts, women cannot do much at all. They were just there to serve their husbands. They were not able to divorce their husband if they didn't like them. They were seen as like seducers for ascetics. So they actually had to be protected. I mean, actually, other people had to be protected from the women so that the women wouldn't seduce them. That was the idea. And so, yeah, there was not much independence. There were always like under the protection of their son, father, husband. So yeah, that's a little bit of context. And in this time, the nuns there were nuns that wanted to also have a nun's order, just as the monks' order that was already there of the Buddhist order. And this beginning is described in the Gautami Sutta in the Anguttara Nikaya. And I think the guy in the article uses this also to support his claim that he was misogynistic, because he didn't immediately say, yes, let's start a nun's order, but he rejected his aunt, who asked him three times, and he rejected Ananda, his attendant, 3 times. And he eventually said yes, because I think Ananda pointed out that his aunt had been so nice to him in his youth. But I think if we take into consideration the culture that was already there, and the problems that having a nun's order might create, which could have been the image of the order, because they had to get their alms from somewhere, their food from somewhere. And yeah, if this idea of woman was so negative, then how was it going to be perceived if there was a nun's order among the Buddhists? So yeah, that, and also women were maybe in more danger if they were roaming around by themselves in the forest. So they had to be protected in some way. There had to be new rules established because yeah, there was a new order, and also in their relation with the monks' order, because of course the monks were celibate. So how would that go? So there were a lot of things that I guess the Buddha would have taken into consideration in admitting the nun's order. So I think that describes his hesitation. And then also, this was not the first time that the Buddha was hesitant of starting an order, because in the first place he was hesitant of teaching at all, because he had to be persuaded by the gods to do so. So yeah, it was not only pertaining to the beginning of the nun's order. And then I think the Bhikkhuni Samyutta, in which the Soma Sutta, is part, and the Therigatha, which are the verses of the elder nuns, are really interesting, because over the long span of Indian history, there have likely been several women who practiced asceticism or were renunciates or did spiritual practice of some sort, but we don't have much evidence of this apart from texts by men, written by men. So yeah, therefore I think that it's really interesting that we do have these texts, and these are really old as well. So the content of the verses is, yeah, I won't get into much detail, but it's about their story. Basically, they tell about their motivation to become a nun, and about yeah, their path, their struggles during the path, and of the Therigatha, it's all nuns who were enlightened, so they yeah, they have some spiritual knowledge to talk about. So next slide, please.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the sutta. I'm not sure, because I have put many slides in, and in all those slides I have analyzed the verses. So I'm not sure if I should read it again here and then get to it again, or should I just do the analysis?
You could you know, read some and then, you know, also analyze whatever. Yeah, it is totally up to you. But this is a nice text, by the way. Yeah.
This one? What do you mean?
Yeah. No, article. This is the Soma Sutta. I'm just reading the, yeah, Soma Sutta. So Atako Soma Bhikkhuni Pubbana Samayang Nivasetva Patta Chivara Madaya Savattim Pindaya Bhavisi Savatyang Pindaya Charitva Pacchabhattang Pindapata Patikkana Yena Andhavana Tenupasankami Diva Viharaya Andhavanam Ajjahetva Ajjogahetva Anyatarasming Rukkamule Diva Viharam Nisiti. Okay, that's pretty straightforward. Atuko Maro Papi Ma Somaya Bhikkhunya Bhayang Yeah, see, the Mara has come to create fear. Okay, Yantang isi pat bayam tanang durabisambhavam natang dwangula panyaya sakka papu tumitiyati atako somaya bhikkhunya etadahosi kono ya kwayang manusova amanusova gatham bhasitat. Yeah, so does everybody get the meaning?
I was gonna help everyone.
Oh yeah. Please help everybody. Yes.
Okay, so I'll just read what I think is maybe the most important part.
Yeah,
Maybe we can
yeah.
go to the analysis, or
Sorry?
maybe because you said you are analyzing.
Yeah, you can read it like a sentence and then analyze it like on the next
Yeah.
slide.
Oh, okay, yeah, but I have put it in the slides.
Yeah. It does.
Okay, so if you do the next slide, then you will see the first verse.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Oh,
Okay.
excellent. Yeah.
So yeah, Savati Nidanan is at Savati, Atako, then indeed. The non-soma, having dressed Nifa Setva in the morning time, Pubanha Samayang, we know it, I think. And oh, by the way, I put the verbs in italics, and if there was a compound, so the words glued together, then I put like the stripe in between. Yeah, so in the morning time, the non-soma, having dressed and having taken adaya, pata, bowl, and chivaram, robe. Pavisi, she entered Savati for alms, Pindaya.
Yeah.
And
Next one.
okay, so she went for alms. Next slide.
Yeah.
Is it the next one?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not sure, by the way, if my analysis is correct, but yeah. So if you see a fault or something, you can tell me. So when, or actually, yeah, in combination with the verb, when having walked or after she had walked, for alms, pindaya, in Savati, the first word, and then the compound, pindapata patikanta, she'd returned from alms round. Pacha batang, after her meal, and she went Tenupasangkami. She went to the Andha Fanang. The Andha is blind and Fanang is forest. The blind man's forest or grove. Diva Viharaya, for the day's abiding, so for the day's meditation. So she was gonna sit in the forest and meditate. Okay.
Yeah.
So beginning with the verb ajoka hetva, having plunged into the Andha Fanang, the blind man's forest, she sat down, so the last word, nisidi, at the foot of a tree, ruka mule, and she did that for the days abiding, diva viharam again, but I wasn't sure about anyatarasming. I found what I wrote down, but I didn't find it back in the translation, and I didn't know what to do with it. So
Yeah, no, Anyatarasming Rukamule, it is referring to the foot of the tree. So, certain foot of the tree. So it's not specifying what type of fruit, tree. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Okay. So yes.
Okay.
Okay, a lot of the verses start with atako, then
Sure.
indeed. Mara is, and he's always described as the Papima, the evil one. He was upade tukamo, desirous or desiring to arouse. Three things in Soma Bhikkhuniya. Payang, Chambitatang, Loma Hangsang, that was the three, fear, terror, and trepidation. And he was also Chave to Kamo, desiring to cause her to fall, Chavetu, from Samadhimha, so from concentration. And Tenu Pasankami, he approached her, Soma Bhikkhuni, and having approached her, Upasankamitva, he addressed Achabhasi, Bhikkhuni Soma, in verse Gataya. Yeah, okay, so Mara was having some bad intentions, and he was going to say something to Soma. So next one, thank you. Is it this one?
Is this?
Yeah. Yang Tang, so actually Yang, that state, Tanang, the fourth word. And by that state, I think he means Arhat. That state is Dur Abhisambhavang, is far or hard to be achieved, even by the seers, EC, and it's Natang, Kent, where am I? Be attained. Oh yeah, okay, I have to understand be attained again. Patabang, be attained by woman, itiya, the last word. And because a woman has dvi angula panyaya, two-fingered wisdom. So yeah, he is insulting Soma or women in general. Okay.
That's why he's called Mara,
Yeah, exactly. Can you all follow this, by the way, or is it vague?
No. That's absolutely fine. Yeah.
What means two-fingered wisdom?
Oh yeah, it's, or according to the commentary, it's about the women that only have wisdom about taking a grain of rice between their two fingers and pressing it to see if it's cooked or not. So their wisdom is only in the kitchen, basically. Yeah.
So that's some insult from Mara.
Yeah, now it makes sense.
Yeah, exactly.
Even men doesn't they don't have even that wisdom,
Yeah, exactly. It's actually really special enlightened wisdom.
Yeah.
Okay, so next, yeah, thank you. So again, we see atako, then indeed, it occurred, it, ahosi, occurred, to Somaya Bhikkhunia, to the Bhikkhuni Soma, and she's asking herself a question. Who, or yeah, ko nu, now who is wait, what am I saying? Is this, or is this indeed who Bhasati recited verse, Gatang, Manuso, a human being, Va, or Amanuso, a non-human being. So that's it. Atako, then indeed, etat, it, ahosi, occurred, to bhikkhuni soma, somaya bhikkhunia. This is ko ayang, Mara, Maro, Papima, the evil one. Who, oh, ko was who has recited Basati, the Gatang, the verse, and she describes his intention, desiring Kamo to upadetu, to arouse the three things, Payang, Chambi, Tatang, Loma Hangsang, fear, terror, and trepidation. And also Kamo, desiring Chafetu, to cause her to fall from concentration, Samadhi ha. So yeah, his intention, and she knows what he's doing. Atako, then indeed, the Bhikkhuni Soma, having understood Viditva, that Ayang Maro, this is Mara, Papima, the evil one, thus, iti. And she replied, Pachabhasi, in verse, Gatahi. So yeah, a lot of the same words are coming back, so it's nice, I think. Okay, so let's see what she says. Iti is woman, bhavo, hood, kind of womanhood. Or actually it does not start with that, but what does Kim Kaira, what does womanhood, and in translation it says matter at all, but I don't see it back in the Pali. What does womanhood matter at all? When chitamhi, when the mind, chitam, is su, well, samahite, concentrated, when jnana, jnanam, knowledge, vatamanam hi, flows on steadily or takes place, as one sees vipassato, correctly, sama, from samaditi, into the dhammang, into the dhamma. So she, sorry?
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, go on.
So yeah, to her it does not matter basically, but I'll get to the meaning after the analysis.
Yeah.
So yasa, one to whom, okay, actually this one I couldn't really figure out, but one to whom it might occur, I am a woman, or I'm a man, or I'm anything at all, is fit for Mara to address. So yeah, only if you identify with something, then Mara is gonna get you. Yeah, I my analysis is not that great here, so I think we just go to the next one. Atako, then indeed, Mara, the Papima, the evil one, Bhikkhu Bodhi said realizing, but it's not literally there. The Bhikkhuni Soma knows me, so Janati, she knows, Mang, me. And he was Dumano, sad, and Duki, disappointed. Right there, Tateva, and he disappeared. Antaradaiti. So she made him go away by her answer. I think this is the last one. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, this is the whole translation together, and a picture of a nice monastery. I think I'm not sure if anyone knows this, but it's in Dharamsala in India.
Wow.
It's a really nice place. They have a lot of courses and stuff. But
Did you visit it? Did you visit the place?
yeah, yeah.
Mm.
They had like an introduction to Buddhism course, and it's
Mm.
every 10 days there's like 100 people that convert to Buddhism, kind of, or they get really interested because they do a really nice job, I think.
There's a picture of Dalai Lama as well. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's like a Gelugpa, in the Gelugpa tradition.
Really nice colors. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too. Like every wall was painted with like stories, kind of. It's really nice. Okay, so on the next slide I have the last part, which is my interpretation of the sutta. So yeah, I already said actually the first two things. But I think, okay, so first the blind man's grove. There is some story about it in the commentary that there's, what was it? Like the Yasodhara, she is being ambushed by thieves. She was enlightened already, and the thieves had immediate bad karma. They lost their sight because of it, and then they started dwelling in the form of spirits in that forest. So that's why it was called the Blind Man's Grove. And I think the point is that you shouldn't mess with women because you will get immediate bad karma. Yeah, and the sutta, yeah, I think it's about Mara. He tries to make Soma doubt herself, kind of her capacity for enlightenment, but little did he know she was already enlightened, so she saw through his plan. And Mara uses like this two-fingered wisdom from conventional culture to try and make her doubt herself. And I think it emphasizes that we shouldn't get distracted by stuff like that, because you can really replace what Mara said with anything related to race or nationality or age or anything that someone would say to you. And that, yeah, that you should really have faith and conviction that you are able to do it, and that the path does lead to enlightenment. What else? So yeah, and it makes me wonder, how can gender have any essence, and how can it be something with an inherent quality? How can it define us? And I think it is only a hindrance if we make it a hindrance. And that's what I see in Soma's reaction as well, that she doesn't even start arguing with Mara about it. She just says that this is something worldly and it doesn't really matter, and it just matters if your mind is there or not. And so therefore I think we shouldn't dwell on these worldly matters endlessly. And yeah, we all exist in a shape and form, and only if we get so attached to it, or then it starts defining us, and it becomes sort of a prison. But when we see into the Dhamma, then this starts dismantling, and we can see that this gender or whatever it is just as impermanent as anything else in the world, and we will be a man in the next life, or we have been a man or a woman in the previous life, and also that the gender roles that are now existing are impermanent, and they are different in every place and every, yeah, and they're changing as we speak, basically. So my conclusion is that I think it shows the fact that the Buddha did admit women, shows that his wisdom rose above like cultural conventions, anything. And in that sense, he had super mundane insight, as we probably all know, but the man from the article, he didn't agree. But yeah, I think that that the Buddha is not misogynistic, of course. So that was my presentation.
Excellent.
This is the picture from Amsterdam, right?
Oh yeah.
City center.
Oh, nice that you recognize it. I wanted to ask actually, but yeah, this is the Heihua. I don't know how to pronounce it. Heihua Temple in the at Zeedijk in Amsterdam.
Okay.
Also nice.
I
And I
thought
think
this.
there's one last temple, monastery actually in the last picture.
Wow.
This is in Kathmandu in Nepal. It's a really
Wow.
nice place, but you
You-
cannot see it, but it's
You were there too, or?
yeah, I went there as well. It's also related to the Tibetan monastery from before in India, but this one is in Kathmandu. It's a Kopan monastery, and there's like a 1 month course that I've been wanting to go to for really long, or it's a retreat kind of, and it's just been postponed because of COVID for all this time, so still waiting.
So do they call this Gumba? Yeah, is it Gumba?
Yeah, I think it's Gompa.
Gumpa. Okay, Gumpa. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. Yeah, because there's an amazing one in Scotland as well. They have.
Yeah, I really want to go there. It looks really nice.
Yeah.
I think it was the first Tibetan Buddhist monastery in Europe, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. No, you're talking about Samueling. Yeah,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Oh,
Yeah.
you're talking about a different one? Oh, yeah.
No. That's the oldest one. I think the
Yeah.
first one probably in Europe. I don't know. I mean, this is in Lockerbie, beautiful place,
Mhm.
Samueling. But recently they set up something at the really top in Venice. I visited in February. I mean, the amazing place, like a 50-acre, beautiful, lush green, really lovely place.
Nice. I
Yeah.
have to go there.
Yeah. It's in Venice. Yeah. Mm.
Nice.
Wow. This is so beautiful. Great. Okay, folks. Thank you so much, Lola. That's lovely. Any questions to Lola?
It's good, Lola, that you have selected a very critical issue that currently talk in the modern cultural studies and Buddhism, gender studies and blah, blah, blah. Actually, ultimately, what is your subtle conclusion that mean? Do you agree that or not agree that how Buddha has thought about these issues similar that like how today cultural analysis look at these classifications or these dividend ideas, critical ideas? Is that same, or how you can take some implication from the early Pali Canon Suttas as how these ideas are rooted in the Pali Suttas, and how today we talk about the gender issues like that? Do you see some similarity or differences when you take some comparative understanding?
Yeah, no, I think it's similar it was very equal, because he emphasized in multiple suttas that women had the exact same spiritual capacity as men. And I don't think that, I mean, there's something about those 8 rules also in the Gautami Sutta that initially seems like very not equal, but I don't know. I think if you understand it from the context, then he is very progressive. Like, he was probably doing something like that people looked at like, what are you doing? Like, why are you giving these dumb women this opportunity? But so therefore, I think that he was, that is in some way similar to.
Good,
I'm not sure if we're totally equal now, but yeah.
Are you exploring this for your thesis or something? No, this issue?
No, just for fun.
Right. Good.
No, I think it's interesting, but my opinion is that my interest in Buddhism was very much related to this idea of renunciation and this idea of leaving society. So whatever society does is like their issue, but it seems from all of the teachings from Buddhism that it would not be in alignment if there was a very obvious gender equality in their teachings, because I don't know, I think it wouldn't match. So
that's good. Congratulations.
So did you choose this topic because you don't like the fact that we're still not treated equally, even though Buddha realized that we should have the same rights? I mean, with the spiritual capacities, it doesn't matter the gender, right? To be enlightened.
Yeah, but I don't feel like I'm treated unequal. Mostly. Well, some people, but maybe they're just assholes. But I think I do have, for example, there's the problem in Tibetan Buddhism with higher ordination, and also in Buddhism in Thailand, where the entire nuns order has kind of died out, and now there's like an issue with it being restarted, because there have to be the monks order and the nuns order, but there's no nuns, so they cannot restart it. So stuff like that, because I have thought about becoming a nun, and I think it's really difficult, way more difficult for women right now. While I think the Buddha wouldn't have liked that, basically. So yeah.
So still there is inequality, if you would want that.
There is, but I feel like in Holland it's pretty good. So any other questions?
This is not that much related, but I'm just interested in overall, I mean, to Tibetan Buddhism in this respect, because, for example, it's really interesting that there are so many figures of enlightened, like Yeshe Tsogyal, I'm not sure I'm saying it right, but the Padmasambhava is called consort, but she was also enlightened, and so many other figures in Tibetan Buddhism. So that's kind of surprising that despite of all these figures being there present, or like Tara and as a Buddha present in the Tibetan culture. Like actually the Chinese have the non-order and the Tibetan like struggling with it. So I just wonder if you have some opinion on that, because you've been to these countries, and it would be interesting to hear.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I think it's difficult because I wanted to write a paper on on the issue of higher ordination in Tibetan Buddhism before, and I wanted to take like the two truths of Nagarjuna, or actually maybe Tsongkhapa's version, and see if we apply that to the gender issue, then how would it stay put, basically. But I don't know, like in some way I also think that we shouldn't, with our perspective on the world, like just think that, okay, this is how everything needs to be. Like there are cultures and that maybe, yeah, need to be respected, and like, I don't know. I'm not sure if we should just invade the place and be like, okay, we need to change this, this. But I do appreciate that there's been people like Frida Bedi. I don't know if you know her, but she was an English woman and she went to India in, I think, 1800 somewhere. And she helped a lot of the Tibetans. Oh, actually, she went in 1900, must be 1900. Or she went late 1800, and then when the Tibetans fled in 1959, she helped them with. She started a school for the young lamas, and she, I think, she was the first Western woman to be ordained by in Tibetan Buddhism, and then after her came Tenzin Palmo, and I don't know, but these women helped starting this trend of like, they started fighting against this idea that there was no higher ordination, and they went to China to get this higher ordination. But yeah, and I think Tenzin Palmo is still trying to help this thing. So I really appreciate that, but I also have some reservations about imposing that on a culture that is not my own, basically. So I don't know if that answers your question. But.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, I think the gender discourse in the West is really aggressive in a sense, at least for me, when I see it, like just too much. I think that's what I liked about your presentation, is that you just said that this is just an unimportant thing, that this gender identity, it's just part of convention, like who cares, right?
Yeah.
And I think in the West we really make a big deal out of it nowadays.
Yeah.
And I think it's totally exaggerated. And then I can't say it because I'm a man. So I'm really happy you're saying that, because you're a woman and you kind of can say it more than I can. I mean, on this setting, that's nothing, but overall, in terms of going into the world and talking about these things, because I think it might be overblown, but at the same time, in the culture, then that's different. Yeah, we just have to respect that culture while trying to change it, rather than just discard it altogether and say Buddhism is not for women and all Buddhists are misogynists.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
Yeah, I really agree. And yeah, I just, when or if I would become a nun, then it would be really nice if it's possible, basically. So if these ideas really keep women from doing the things they want to do, then I think that's sad. But I'm not sure how we should go about changing that. So yeah.
I like thrice of you if you could become bhikkhus as a result of the end of the class.
What?
If you three, Julia, Lola, and Mikhail, can become a bhikkhu at the end of the class as a result,
As a result of what?
if you would.
He's trying to ordain
Ordain.
everyone. Okay, yeah.
Oh, well, yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe
Excellent,
in 5
folks.
years.
Yeah, no,
Actually,
thank you, Lola. I think that is really very insightful, very, very important. And I think, I mean, if there is one thing that you brought up in our Pali course, this Lokya Lokuttara, the worldly and supramundane. And this is something that pops up, again and again. So, and I think you brought it up because in the realm of the world now, there's gender, sex, and all caste, creed, all these distinctions are, I mean, are valid, and also people have opinions about, and this is the Lokiya realm. But in the Lokuttara realm, I mean, this is what Soma says. It's in the realm of the Mara. It's in the realm of the Mara. That matters. These things matter. But when you go beyond that, I mean, I think it's just not being able to see the Lokuttara aspect of Buddhism. That's why we get hung up. And I think, Michal's point is very, very valid, because we get hung up on these things because we don't actually see the transcendental and the transformative part of Buddhism, and I'm really saddened by some of the even the bhikkhunis, like, I met a German nun who was kind of really aggressive, and I was really feeling sorry for her, because she couldn't really transcend, go beyond this worldly. I mean, I think it is kind of, this aggressive feministic movement, and at the same time, this male chauvinism in bhikkhu communities is very sad. I mean, they are bringing the Buddha Dhamma to the Lokya level rather than, lifting them up beyond. So, and I think, I can see both dynamics, like, I mean, like what Acham Brahm did in Australia. He was coming from the Thai tradition, and he gave the equal. I mean, is it the should be given the high ordination. They have all the rights of all other monks, and I think that is beautiful. And I think in the 21st century, third decade, if we can't do that, it's just, it's not Buddhism. It is not Buddhism at all, because I think so. And I think male chauvinism has crept into the monastic order in some form, and that's why they are, we can't restart the high ordination of bhikkhunis. Why? There are enough bhikkhunis, and they should be empowered, and male should not be. I mean, I think this in the you refer to the Gautami Sutta, and I think these 8 conditions that the Buddha laid out. I mean, they are not valid today, because they were actually in the 6th century BC. That was a different culture.
Yeah, exactly.
That was completely different culture and different communities, because, women, I mean, they were living in a different era altogether, but now it's all history. And I think, both men and, I mean, bhikkhuni, sasana should be properly established and they should be empowered. And there is no excuse in either in the Pali Canon or any other textual is not to do that at all. So I see both sides. I mean, anyway, but lovely. I think really nice presentation, because when you said Itti Bhavo King Kaira, Chitte Samahite or Chitte Ujugate Sati, there are few variant forms as well. When the mind is fully established, womanhood.
Yeah.
What does it matter? What is, so, and I think it is, it just putting that in the realm of the world and seeing the transformative and the super supramundane level is what is really relevant, isn't it? Yeah, do you agree?
I
Yeah.
totally agree.
No, thank you. That is really very insightful, because you brought up this Lokya Lokuttara distinction very clearly, because in that verse, it is, when you say Itti Bhavo King Kaira, Chitte Samahite Sati, when the mind is established, what does it mean? So that's a really good summary of classes. Yeah, well done. Well done. Any last things, Bhante? What do you think? Bhante? Did you enjoy the presentation?
I enjoyed the presentation. Well done, Lola. Make a wish. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, great. Bhante was going to take us to his the Bo tree to bless everybody after the class. So please show us in Nevada, the Bo tree. That would be lovely. Okay, excellent, folks. We could actually take a short break and then get into the other two. Is that okay? Shall we take a short break? All right, then. Let's take a 10 minutes break. Okay. So how is the weather in Amsterdam, Lola?
It's pretty good. I didn't enjoy it today, sadly.
It's like 22.
Really? That's nice.
Yeah, it was on Friday, it was 30 degrees, so it was amazing.
30?
Yeah.
Okay. Now here it was
yeah,
what?
I think there is thesis, so
I'm stuck at home.
Time.
You can cope.
Yeah, I'm finishing. Actually, yesterday I prepared my first full draft, and I'm submitting the final version on Friday. So
oh wow,
I'm done basically. And I did my presentation today, so it's not really visually nice, but the content's there.
So what was this presentation today?
So it will be for Pali.
Oh, I'm saying Pali, yeah.
Right, okay. I thought you did another one for another class.
No, I'm doing a presentation of my thesis next week for my bachelor. Like we have a bachelor gathering, and I will be talking about it. But I will probably keep it. So I have 3 chapters, and one is about like just general cognition, logic, language, things like that. And in the next 2 chapters, I'm discussing Buddhism.
Yeah.
I think I will present not about it because that's too much. So let's talk about not a good advertisement for philosophy, because I'm arguing that philosophy cannot solve the problems of nature of reality, like questions about existence or consciousness or free will. I'm arguing that philosophy is unable to do it because it's like under like a cognitive closure. So like the solution is just like hitting glass wall. And then I'm offering Buddhist insights as a way out of that. Like a fly in a bottle, you know. But I will leave students of my bachelor in a bottle because I have just 15 minutes, so I can. But at least I will point out to them that it's I mean, I find out myself through these studies, you know, that I was like a fly in a bottle till I found out Buddhism, you know. I was trying to figure out everything, like what ism describes reality, you know. I was so stuck, and then finally I realized that was so stupid, but I really struggled for 2 years trying to figure it out.
Yeah,
because that's what philosophy tells you.
Yeah. Okay, now you know where you will visit me in Sri Lanka.
Oh, it's your retreat center? No.
Yeah, this is going to be ecology. Yeah, this is you will be amazed. This is actually in the rainforest. Yeah. This is rainforest, and there's a river running through, you know, all around. It's all actually, you know, eco-friendly. This is like, you know, a lot of people there. It's in the rainforest called Singharaj. So, you know, all around it is a nice, the sound of the river and the birds, and really nice. You know, this tropical rainforest. You know, this is the view. So visit.
Is that yours, you said?
Yeah, it's going to be mine. I actually invested on this to set up a mindfulness center.
Wow. That's
So
cool.
Huh?
That's so cool. It looks really nice.
You're all invited.
Yeah, you're all invited.
Yeah, we're all coming one day.
Yeah, come and visit me. I mean, you know, stay with me. You know, I'm hoping to actually do you know, this is Sati retreats and study Pali, you know, Pali studies and meditation and so on. So
where is it in Sri Lanka?
This is called Singaraja rainforest. If you go to you know, the Google, just put Singaraja. It's the most biodiverse, you know, part of it's, yeah, let me just get this Singaraja.
I was watching some biology documentary about something like that. Like that I think this rainforest. It was so interesting. Like the kind of I would say creature, not an animal or living beings there that are like the ones that were like when the dinosaurs were. There are some things like that still are there, and yeah, the longest like living ones. So
yeah, it's amazing, biodiverse city. You know, just type in Singharaj. It's, you know, amazing thing about it is the, you know, like the forest, the jungle is so lively. You know, I could just sort of keep looking and watching the trees for hours and hours, days and days, because they are just so alive. I've never seen, and if you take a bath in you know, in the stream or waterfall, that coolness will stay with you for weeks and months. It's no, I'm not exaggerating. Okay.
It actually looks, when I look at the picture, really
Yes.
similar where I live in Poland, in like the forests.
Yeah.
The streams look so similar, the same colors. The water
Yeah.
is very cold there. 18 degrees the highest when it's 30 something.
Yeah.
So yeah, I know.
But 18 degrees isn't bad. Yeah. But
This is the
Poland,
hottest one.
hot summertime. Is it
Yeah.
summertime?
The summer, yeah, I think summertime like 36 is like really high, but
Oh,
it happens.
all right. So, I mean, what is really amazing is Singaraj, I mean, Sri Lanka is a tropical kind of paradise, and it's throughout the year. Like if you go there in December, January time, that's the best time. And there's a rainy season in May, June, but other times it's the same temperature all around with the trees and trees. Really nice. Especially in this is like a 44,000 acres of rainforest in the middle of the country. Yeah. So this is the only place with a kind of a permission to set up a, center, because the other part is kind of national heritage and they don't allow. So it's a lovely place. So Michael, when are you planning to visit me?
Actually, if the shortest, it's like, yeah, I don't know, like we would probably stay in Amsterdam for at least one more year, maybe two. So after
Yeah.
that we plan to go on a tour to Asia, so definitely then.
Yeah, come along. Sri Lanka is such an amazing place. Within 2 hours, you could be in the beach, you could be in the highlands, you could be in, forests, etc. Yeah,
Yeah, it looks amazing, to be honest. Really, really nice.
yeah.
Yeah, I would wish I could go now on a retreat like that.
Yeah, and the water is very heavy, like, it's full of minerals. Because, when you hear the sound of the water, like, you can see it's really heavy. It's kind of the spring water, really full of minerals, and it's coming through the, herbs and the trees and the roots. So it's really good. Yeah. So, okay, folks, welcome back. That was a short advert to my Eco Lodge. Eco Lodge. So who wants to go next? Was it Manoj? Yeah, Manoj wants to go next.
No, Mikhail. After Mikhail.
Okay.
After Mikhail.
Yeah, all right, I can do it. So I will share my screen. So I don't know if I can do it now or.
I'll make you the host. Okay. Let me do that. Either I could make you co-host or host.
Oh, I will need I will just need a second.
Yeah.
Oh. So there's one problem that for me to share the screen, I would need to quit the Zoom meeting and give like permission, because there's a screen recording, and my computer is not. I have like a security measure that I cannot. I have to permit screen recording, but for that I would need to leave. So maybe I can send you that presentation.
Yeah. Okay.
I think maybe I can like switch it to PowerPoint, and we will see if because it's a Keynote file, but maybe it will work. I'll just send it to you real quick.
Sure.
That's what happens when you want to be too private.
Yeah, but because I don't know, I thought like we just used the Zoom so long last year that I didn't want it to be. I didn't know that.
Is that an accusation?
He doesn't even use Google.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's bad. And sells things, advertises things.
Yeah, so I don't want to be tracked. It's so annoying.
Yeah.
Infiltrating your mind.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like when I say something, then it immediately pops up somewhere. They want to sell it to me. So I'm just trying to,
Absolutely.
not
It's
worry
so,
about it.
yeah.
Okay, so I send it to you.
Yeah, got it, yeah.
Hopefully it will look well because I don't know, it's
Yeah.
different format.
No worries. Give me a second. Okay. Yeah. Presentation. Hold on. PowerPoint. Yeah, this one. Okay. Is this the one?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
All right, so you can start the slideshow and.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sure.
Oh, Keith is.
Keith is sneaking.
Okay.
He's doing his best.
Hi, Keith. How did the wedding go?
Just a moment. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right. I'm on my phone. I'm not skilled at using this on my mobile phone. Yeah. No, the wedding hasn't happened yet.
Oh.
We're in advance.
Ah.
But yeah, I really wanted to try and join you for a little bit of at least the last session. I don't know how good the signal is. We're right on the coast in Norfolk, and it's pretty flaky.
All right. No,
okay,
lovely
so you carry on.
Yeah. Lovely to.
You actually got the perfect time because I'm just starting my presentation.
Oh, wonderful!
So at least
wonderful.
You have a time.
You miss Lola's, but
okay.
we will send it to you.
I will see the recording.
Okay, yeah, definitely, yeah.
All right, so basically I want to present about Non-Duality Sutta. Usually the idea of non-duality is, especially the of subject and object, is kind of seen as a Mahayana idea of Yogacara, which is like practice of yoga. And so usually it's not really seen as a thing that was already taught by the Buddha. Yes, he did talk about the existence and non-existence, but at the same time, the term like Advaya is never present. But however, surprisingly, in this, I found in this sutta that actually there is a teaching that implies this subject-object non-duality. And so I wanted to, share about that. So basically, it's kind of, I think, an advanced practice, as it is shown here, and also like give quick results. And its purpose is to drop desire and attachment towards all phenomena while recognizing the anatta, the non-self. And so to practice it, one ought to be in a secluded place and apply undistracted awareness, sati, that's how I translated it, to sensations arising at 6 sense doors, seeing them as empty of the self. So that's just a little background. And next slide. So basically the context of the sutta is that the Venerable Malunkyaputta comes to the Buddha and asks him about a brief and effective teaching, which he can put into a meditative practice alone, withdrawn, diligent, ardent, and resolute. And he explains to him that although, venerable sir, I am old-aged, burdened with years, advanced in life, I come to the last stage, let the Blessed One teach me the Dhamma and breathe. Let the Fortunate One teach me the Dhamma and breathe. Basically, he is old, but really wishes to advance quickly on the path because he doesn't have much time left in this life. And so we can go to the next slide. And so Buddha asks him, what do you think, Malunkyaputta? Do you have any desire, lust, or affection for those forms cognizable by the eye that you have not yet seen and never saw before, that you do not see and would not think might be seen? So basically, he asks him about all forms of seeing, future, past, present, whatever. And then he does the same with the sounds and aromas, so the nose, ear, nose, tongue, body, and mind. Asks him about what is his attitude towards it. And that can be seen as a sort of important step before one can proceed further, because if one is infatuated with the world, then that practice is probably not going to give the result that the person might want, because it will lead to a complete dispassion. So Buddha first asks him whether he is actually ready, in a sense. Next slide. So here we have the text that I selected in Pali. Actually, I will be commenting on each line and translating it and comparing translations. So I will read it then. I just want to give a brief overview. So we can go to the next slide. So here I picked important words to understand things. Yeah, it's not as nice as Lola did it or Julia before, but yeah, it's there. So basically, yato is whence or since, because or when. Then these next few words are important. So we have ditta, which is from ditti, so which is normally a view, but in this context, it refers to things that are seen through eye. Then we have sutta, which refers to the things heard, which is also not a direct meaning, but implied, and also mutta, which actually it's like sensed, covers the three tastes of smell, sense, and touch. And then we have viññata, which is activity of vijnana, so like things discerned and cognized, basically all mental phenomena. And then we have a term bhavisati, which I understood as it will become like in the future, because it is from bhavati, derived from bhu. Then we have tato, which is from there, from that, therefore. Then we have tvam, which is you, and tena, on account of it, because of it. Tatha, which is there. Then we have nevidha, and I didn't know exactly what it means, but I thought it is like not consisting of a variety, or not many, but maybe soon you can, because I couldn't.
Yeah, never idha. Idha means here, not here.
Oh, okay, so it's like this.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I couldn't find that word. So, and then the next is hurang. Is this like something with the other? And then the next one, this is also couldn't find it anywhere. It's called ubhaya. So I found that ubhaya is twofold or both, but I couldn't find the meaning of ubhaya mantarena.
Yeah.
So that was difficult.
Yeah, no, in between. Ubhaya mantra is in between. Now it says the here, there, and in between.
Okay. Yeah. So that's yeah. Okay, so we can go to the next slide. So here I will read it. So it's etha chate malunkyaputta dittha sutta mutta viññata besu dhammesu dittha matang bhavisati sutta matang bhavisati mutta matang bhavisati viññata matang bhavisati. So we have here, I decided to compare translations because I didn't have much time to really focus on all of the words. So I prefer in this case Thanissaro Bhikkhu translation overall of this sutta. So he says that with regard to phenomena to be seen, heard, sensed, or cognized, so the Buddha talks about all the six senses, all the six sense doors. And in reference to the seen, there will only be the seen. In reference to the heard, only the heard. In reference to the sensed, only the sensed. In reference to the cognized, only the cognized. That is how you should train yourself. Now that's interesting to me that Thanissaro adds this, that is how you should train yourself, whereas Bodhi talks more about the will. So he understands this bhavisati in terms of like will, and talks about past, and talks about in a future tense as how Malunkyaputta will experience his practice, or what he should experience during that practice. Whereas Thanissaro puts it into a kind of, that's how you should train. So as an instruction. And now it seems as a, just as normal passage, but if we think about it, if we have just in the scene, just the scene, that means there is no observer, so no subject, and the object at the same time stops being just an object, because, well, the object is an object only in the reference to the subject. So if we had just the scene, basically Buddha points out that one has, that so Malunkyaputta trains to be only have sensations without imposing on them the idea of self, and we will see that as we go along. So the next slide. So the next one is basically the repetition again. Yato khote Malunkyaputta dittha sutta mutta vinyata besu dhammesu dittha matang bhavisati sutta sutta matang bhavisati mutta mutta matang bhavisati vinyata vinyata matang bhavisati. So here we have this repetition, and then we will come to the crucial part when Buddha explains exactly what it entails, his instruction. So we can go to the next slide. So first, that's translation of what I just read. So when for you, Malunkyaputta, that's my translation, regarding Dhamma seen, heard, sensed by taste, smell, touch, cognized, in the seen will be just the seen, in the heard will be just the heard, in the sensed will be just the sensed, in the cognized will be just the cognized. And then he proceeds to explain what it will lead to. Tatot fang Malunkyaputta natena. So Bodhi translates this as, then Malunkyaputta, you will not be by that. Now, I think Bodhi doesn't, as usually he does a great job. I don't really think he did it in this sutta, because the way he translates and it goes on with these short instructions, it's kind of cryptic, because it's really hard to say, what does it mean, you will not be by that. Maybe it's more literal translation, but it's not really helpful, and at least for me it wasn't. But Thanissaro Bhikkhu translated as, there is no you in connection with that. So basically we have tatot fam, so then you, and Malunkyaputta natena. So I thought that this translates as then Malunkyaputta, because of this instruction as Buddha delineated it, there is no you in any of any of the six senses. So that the self, there's the self perspective, or like the self center, is not found among all of these sensations, which is usually, we think we are the ones who are sensing, or our mind is the thoughts, and that's where we are. But with this practice, we're supposed to get rid of that sense of a self inside of the phenomena. Then oh.
Sorry.
No worries. So we can go to the next slide. So here I just added that part again. So then Malunkyaputta, because of that, there is no you, and then Then the next part is in Pali, Yatot Fam Malunkya Putta Natena, it's a repetition, Tatot Fam Malunkya Putta Natatha. So Bodhi translated again a bit cryptically, you are not by that. When you are not by that, then you will not be therein, which, well, I also didn't get quite. But Thanissaro explains it that it means, I mean, for him, his translation, when there is no you in connection with that, so that practice, there is no you there, which entails that there is no you at all, in a sense, but anywhere or within. When the you is not found within these sensations, then Buddha says, okay, so there is no you there, even within, like there's nowhere the self can be found, because we just found that we just realized that it's not in the sensations. So we can go to the next slide. So yeah, here again I added it, and then Buddha continues, Yatot fam malunkya putta natatha, tatot fam malunkya putta nevida nehurang na ubhayaman mantarena. So yeah, and this part, the both Bodhi and Thanissaro are translating, I think, quite clearly. So when you are not therein, or when you are not there, when there is no you there, so that's why I still prefer Thanissaro, because you are neither here nor yonder nor between the two. So the way I understood it is that if there is no you here in the variety or in the six senses, then, and also that it is not in the other, which means like beyond these senses to be found, and also not like somehow between them. I think with this, Buddha tries to make the point that just the self cannot be found, but instead of just saying it, he gives this instruction in the sense that, okay, you can look. Can you find the self within the senses? No. So can you maybe find him outside of the senses? Well, that's also difficult. And so in this sense, he's kind of giving an answer of not being able to find a solid, like metaphysical subject anywhere in experience, but at the same time, doesn't just put it on a plate, and rather has it as an instruction. And what's also important, I think, is that it's definitely meditative instruction, which sometimes I think there's this, I mean, in academics sometimes are saying that, oh, Pali Buddhism was not about meditative experience or perception, that yeah, maybe that's in Tibetan, but in like Theravada or whatever, that they were all about like texts and just recitations and chanting and things like that. And I that's clearly not the case, because this is a clear meditative instruction. And especially now we will see that when we come to the end of the sutta. So we can go to the next slide. So that's just translation of it, just once again, of the whole thing. So we can go to the next slide. So later on, I mean, it's not immediately later on, but I picked an important passage where Malunkya Putta summarizes Buddha's teaching in order to show to him that whether he understood it correctly, he tries to like interpret what he has to do. And that's, I thought, the most vital passage. So Yatha sa vijanato dhammang sevato chapi vedanang ekhyati nopachiyati evan so charati sato evan apachinato dukkam santike nibbana vuchati ti. So while one is cognizing a Dhamma, and in Sutta, this is replaced with many other things. So basically all the senses and thoughts and many examples are replaced in this part, but I choose the one with Dhamma because it kind of represents all of them. So while one is cognizing a Dhamma and even experiences feeling, so it's not that Buddha says you cannot experience feeling, it's normal that feelings arise, and they are supposed to fall away and without accumulation, due to the fact that one practices with undistracted awareness, and thus, thanks to that undistracted awareness or mindfulness, as it is usually translated, it is not accumulating suffering. And so then Nibbana is said to be close by. So we can go to the next slide. So this is just before this, I only left it in English. Just before this part, Malunkyaputta thanked the Buddha and decided to got up and go to practice. And then dwelling alone, withdrawn, diligent, ardent, and resolute, the Venerable Malunkyaputta, by realizing it for himself, direct knowledge. So it was with Abhinya, yeah, I think. So it is important to note that, I mean, it was supposed to be a direct knowledge. I didn't have time to work on Pali for this part, but yeah, so it's the importance of like experiential realization for oneself. And then in this life, he entered and dwelt in that unsurpassed goal of the spiritual life and basically attained Nibbana and became one of the Arhats. And he, even though he was old and yeah, he didn't have much time, thanks to this practice, he was fully realized. So I think that really shows that there is this non-duality in a sense, like hidden, because I don't know how else could this passage be interpreted when basically that's what Yogacara teaches, that it's all about not having that sense of like a subject that grasps onto objects. And in this case, that's exactly what the Buddha teaches here, that basically, and with thanks to like undistracted awareness, the sensations are like to seen through, so that they're empty of the self, both sensations and the self. So in a sense, it's not that just Buddha just taught the emptiness of the self, but at the same time, it seems that he's implying emptiness of the Dhammas as well, because they're just the things that are come into. That's my interpretation of it, because yeah, I didn't really read any interpretations of the suttas, but yeah, I found it. So yeah, I hope it's kind of correct, or maybe it's admissible interpretation, because yeah, I just found it really, really interesting, especially with this, that in the scene, just the scene, and in the, because it just so much resonated with my own practice and my own, like, even before I found Buddhism, that's how I thought of awakening and all the spiritual meditative practice, to just kind of be so much engrossed into the sensations that the sense of self fades away. So when I read this, I thought, yeah, that's just such a perfect practice, and no wonders Malunkyaputta in short time became an arahat. So yeah, that's it. Thanks for listening, and yeah. You're muted, Sunil.
Yeah, wonderful. No, thank you, Michael. That was really insightful. Any questions to Michael?
Question? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, Lola.
Did you say in the beginning there was no Advayang in Pali Canon, or did you say something else?
Yeah, that's. I was trying to research it, and the usual view is that this word is. I mean, I didn't check through the whole Pali Canon, but as far as I was reading it, that word doesn't occur. The Buddha talks about, like, in a sense, he talks about non-duality, but rather by negative of like saying that these dualities don't apply, or that basically one has to go beyond the duality, but never uses the word advaya. And then when you search about non-duality in general, it's more of all about Mahayana. And there is some part about obviously Nagarjuna and how he comments on the two truths and nirvana and samsara. So that's kind of, maybe he's obviously connected, but the subject-object non-duality is usually something really associated with Yogacara. So they have the grahaka and grahya. I think, in Sanskrit. So the grasper and the grasped, and they really like put a lot of attention on how to get rid of that and how that leads to enlightenment. And usually they are credited as like the ones who, you know, came up with it. But and then someone even say, oh yeah, so how is that connected to the teachings of the Buddha? And more, yeah, but then I did some research and I found this sutta and I thought, yeah, that really resonates with what they are talking about. And it's clearly a practice of meditation and not just, yeah, you know, thinking exercise.
Yeah, it's interesting. I've looked into this as well for my thesis, actually. I did find Advayang in the Pali Canon, but it was mostly used in, there's like the 10 non-dual meditations, I don't know. For example, and there's some other occurrences, but I think it's used, I don't know, according to some scholars, it was used only in the way of like experiential non-duality instead of ontological non-duality. But
that's interesting. Because
but that is something used in Mahayana, in Mahayana texts. So that you feel like everything is non-dual and all the barriers are breaking away, but maybe ultimate reality is not exactly like that. I'm not sure. But I read some, I don't know, not that much about it, so I don't know.
Yeah, I would definitely want to learn more about that because, yeah, I was researching it, but from my perspective, I mean, I'm writing about non-duality also. I think it's thinking ontologically. I mean, I know that some Mahayanists did it, but I think that's mostly a misinterpretation of what, like, for example, Asanga and Vasubandhu meant. I wouldn't think that's that ontological. I mean, because yeah, but I'm really Madhyamika thinking of like, you know, the ultimate is not really expressible. So what's the point of making theories? Yeah, you know, so and I think that's what I really like in the Pali, like in the Pali Canon, you can really find it that Buddha doesn't talk about. Like I really love the Kachana Gota Sutta when he's just like, you know, stop talking about existence and non-existence because that's just a source of illusion. Like it's so easy to get stuck into thinking that exists and that doesn't. And I kind of sometimes I'm annoyed with some thinkers in Buddhism because it's really easy to just fall into it. Into this talking and then it doesn't go anywhere. Like I feel like, you know, it's so much discussion. Like you probably know from Tibetan, like Rang Tong and Shen Tong, self and other emptiness, and they are just like, what exists on where? And you have like Dolpopa saying that exists on the ultimate but not on the conventional, and then and Tsongkhapa and the opposite way of saying things. And you know, I really found it refreshing. I mean, that the Buddha said, just don't talk about it, and I really appreciate that. And so yeah, that
easier for us to not have to analyze all that stuff. But I have one more question. How do you live without Google? I don't understand.
That's not connected to Advaita, okay?
Yeah.
No, but how do you find stuff?
I don't buy things.
DuckDuckGo, it's called DuckDuckGo.
It's a different sort of site.
Yeah, I'm using different things. I'm using like Brave and I'm using things to search, but I'm not using Google as a.
Okay, so you find the same things as you can find in Google?
Not necessarily.
The ones that are important, you know, like books and sources and text, that's normal, but you cannot buy anything. And you don't know about anything with restaurants because when you put things in, it doesn't show results because you're not tracked. So there is no way of, you know, having 10 lists of shops to enter. It's really hard to buy something online, but I can buy books if I know the name of the shop.
Yeah. Well, at least you have internet. It makes studying easier. But thank you. It was a really nice presentation.
Brilliant. Yes. Now, before we get to Manoj, I think this Dvaita and Advaita, I think it's a really interesting question. I think you know, because See, lot of Indian philosophers talk about Advaita, Vedanta, Advaita. So it is in the Pali Canon, if you see the word Advaita, it is not in the sense of negating the Dvaita. And that's the difference. Like you can use the Advaita as a Lokuttara concept, or Advaita as a Lokiya concept. So, and I think what is lacking is the Buddha, I think you put it exactly right, Mikhail. You said, like, don't talk about it. When it is talk about, it is always a negation of something. Yeah. And even the negation of something takes you, bring you something. It is, so, and not in that sense. So Advaita, if it is used, it is used not in the ordinary sense of negation of Dvaita. Am I right?
Yeah, I mean, from my interpretation, in a sense, this kind of really nicely emerges, this non-duality, but without talking about it. So here in this text, like, I think the consequence of what Buddha is teaching is clearly a kind of non-dual experience, but at the same time, he's never really saying it. So this can only come through, well, practice and insight, with not, like a theory. So,
yeah, indeed. Excellent. Okay, Keith. And then Manoj.
I think what you said is wonderful. But as far as this analysis goes, maybe I've sort of found you have to go through trying to describe it before accepting you can't, rather than just try and think you can just jump to it's indescribable. You sort of have to go through all that torture, as it were, all that square bashing in your military terms, right? You've got to do all that groundwork, and then it does come home. That's all I wanted to say. But wonderful. He did not pick himself an easy topic, did he?
No.
Absolutely. Well done.
Excellent. No, thank you. You are looking well. You are in a wedding suit or something, yeah? Dress up very nicely.
I've been out for dinner.
Okay.
I came back early to try and catch the end of this.
Oh, very good.
Yes.
Lovely to see you.
Don't worry, I've got my robes ready for next week.
Excellent. So, folks, yeah. Oh, Manoj,
yeah,
sorry.
Before I move to my presentation, I would rather like to make some comment as I enjoyed Mikhail's presentation, which is you touch to a fact that is very crucially important because actually Dr. Sunil can provide more resources for this. I think there's Katukurunde Jnanananda, one of the bhikkhu in Sri Lanka, who has big concern about this, and how the Buddha's thought and the Sankhya philosophy has some similarities, while the Buddha has established something particularly different from the existing other the philosophies that prevailed during the Indian, classical Hindu standpoints such as Advaita or Mula Madhyakarika or whatever it is. So that's why I just have a simple idea that you could have more you could have more chances if you can draw your attention to Reverend Katukurunde, how he explained this. He has a nice book, Concept and Reality, and some other two books, eminent books. This is, however, very important. Like you, a young man who concerned and who has a real desire to explore this kind of very essential point, a key point right? Thank you.
Thank you. So you meant, I think I kind of started looking at that book. This is a concept by Nanananda called Concept and Reality. Yeah, I checked something really nice about the consciousness that reaches the Nibbana, but it's a kind of differently phrased. I wish I could find it now, but
I'll send you. Could you please send me?
Yeah. Thanks.
You can find it through the Google. There are two other books. I think which
he's
could
not using Google.
Helpful.
He's not using Google.
No, but I have that copy of that book. I mean, I have it online. So yeah, and I was started looking at it. So thanks. I will definitely dive in more because how many resources I said and not everyone read, but this one is recommended. I see.
I wanted to say that it's interesting that now I know how the journey of Non-Duality ends, because I was talking how it started. So it's interesting connection that he finally realized himself, and he was this not the smartest monk, right? Asking questions.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah, because I was the presentation I did, it was at the beginning, and he was considered by people as this unawakened, like very, like he didn't realize even when he heard a bit of the Dhamma, he still, and then before death, he became an arhat.
The Buddha gave him a hardcore.
Yeah.
Okay, you know what, Malukya, I'm trying to do something with you whole your life. We're questioning again. You don't want to learn. So here, you have a practice. Go and do it.
I think it is similar to Bahya Sutta as well. Bahya, Daruchirya, the guy came from far. He was the same, and he was bugging the Buddha, can you please give me the gist of your teaching? And the Buddha said, we are just going to go to the bowl round and collect our food. And he said, can you wait? And he said, no. How do I know that you are going to last that long? Or I will last that long. And that kind of question. And then he just kept bugging 3 times. The Buddhas never reject when somebody actually probe you into 3 times. And he said the same thing. This is the shortest sermons. This is the shortest discourse of the Buddha. Ditte dittamattang. Evan sikkitabbang, ditte dittamattang, sute sutamattang, mute mutamattang, vinyate vinyadamattang. Tatotang bahya na tena na tatta na ubhayamantari. Esevanto dukkasa. So now that is, I think your instinct on this translation, I was very pleased because sometimes the translations give you wrong interpretations. And I think Thanissaro is the closest, I think, the way we look at it. So it's not easy to translate. I think Keith is right. You have to first say it and then see that the folly of it, but it is not easy to translate. But I think I'll give you another really interesting place. There's again a Malukya. I don't know whether there has been 2 different ones or it's the same thing. In one of the other sutta, Samyutta Nikaya, there is a Malukya Sutta where the Buddha says, a form that you have not seen in the past, not will be seen in the future, not seen now, and never will be seen, can you have an attachment to that kind of a form? Yeah. So is it the same?
One. I just didn't have couldn't talk about everything.
Okay.
But yeah.
And there people get a wrong. Now if you put the question mark, a form that you have never seen in the past, something that you've never seen in the past, and something that you will never see in the future, something that you never see now, and something that you will never see. Can there be something, actually that something still is there, not seen thing, isn't it? Yeah. So now that is the place where, where the emptiness is misunderstood to be a nothingness. People think, oh, emptiness is nothingness. Because when you say there is nothing, nothing is there, isn't it? Yeah. So that nothing part is, and I think that is, transcending that and seeing the reality as it is, as it is. When you say word, then you lost it. Yeah.
Yeah, here I had really hard time when I was trying to translate it. In the end, I just said there is no you. But actually what Buddha is saying is that there's just more, he's more saying without you, in a sense, or no you. But then the sentences didn't make sense. Like I tried to make it, like in English, I just couldn't express I couldn't translate this pari sequence when he explains how the non-self. He never really says like exactly there is no you, that kind of still says that there is, but I couldn't avoid it because just English works like that.
Yeah. So great stuff, and I think I agree with Keith. This is not an easy one that you've chosen. Yeah. So non-duality. What's that? And I think the Kachanagata Sutta and the Nagarjuna's, and I think that's the most, how he starts with the Madhyamika philosophy. He says, Anirodha Anutpad, Anucheda Asaswata, Anekartha Ananartha, Anagama Anirgama. So, well, the eight paths: Anirodha Anutpad, Anucheda Asaswata, so Anekartha Ananartha, Anirgama, Anagama Anirgamam, Yat Pratitya Samutpada, Prapanchopasamam Shivam, Desayamasa Sambuddha, Tang Vande Vadatang Vara. That is how he starts this one, the Madhyamika, Mula Madhyamika Karika. Yeah. And I think the that is also very directly connected to this sutta, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, so lovely, and I'm very proud of you. You seem to have now, very brave and bold to read Pali suttas in Pali language. Wow, that's great, and I think that's the shyness that we want to get rid of. In the Pali, when you read, you can be learning Pali for years and years, but still, shy to read a sutta. And but what we really need is just dwell, really go into the suttas and read them directly. Very good. Well done. Who is going next? Keith. No. Okay. Yeah, Manoj.
I was going to give you something, but I haven't brought it with me. I was going to do it last week. I thought you guys have all been going one way. You've been going Pali English. So I took a basic chant, which wasn't going to be a new text. And then I wrote a little gastha in English. And then I translated that into Pali. And to test it, I translated with a different set of dictionaries, the Pali, back into English to see if the loop made sense. Because that's the way I understand the texts were transmitted into China, they had two teams of people, and one who translated into Chinese and another team independently translated it back into Pali. And if they matched, they thought that, well, the Chinese was worth going with. So I tried that, but I haven't got it with me. So, but we have the master now, don't we, Manoj? So I look forward to that. If I disappear, I won't be coming back. It's because the battery is going on my phone.
But lovely to see you, you know.
Right.
Very good. Have a lovely wedding, yeah, and eat dinner as well, yeah. Excellent. So over to you, Manoj.
Yeah, you are giving me the permission to.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I should give you the permission, shouldn't I? Hold on, Manoj. I'll make you the co-host or host. Yeah, co-host would do.
Did you?
Yeah, you're the co-host now.
Okay. Wait, please. Okay, are you seeing me?
Yeah, yeah, we can see. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. Samanta Chakravalesu atra gachantu devata Saddhammang munirajas sunantu sagha mukhadam Dhamma savana kalu ayam badanta Dhamma savana kalu ayam badanta Nagida suttang Dhamma savana kalu ayam badanta Namo tassa bhagavatu arahato samma sambuddhassa Namo tassa bhagavatu arahato samma sambuddhassa Namo tassa bhagavatu arahato samma sambuddhassa. Thank you very much, everybody. Today I would like to share my ideas about the subtle nuances of, as I understood, what Buddha wanted us to draw the attention and what he wanted us to do in present scenario. That's why I choose, after a great struggle of myself, that what I'm going to do for this course, as I taught by Dr. Sunil and all the people. So the Nagita Suttam, there are kind of three versions here, but the more or less, all three versions gives a bit similar idea. That's why I selected this Anguttara Nikaya Panchaka Nipata Pali Panchagika Vaggo in that AN 530. According to the Chatta Sanghayana Tripitaka. And at the same time, I used the translation by Bhikkhu Thanissaro Bhikkhu in order to make sense, because I'm not a Pali scholar, just this is my partial passion. So I don't know whether I can understand this. So my objective is to draw that what Buddha has drawn the attention in terms of the core Buddha practice and how he conducted his life and what he taught as the Dhamma. Accordingly, the implication is that it is the consistency of the practice on the arising and passing away of the five clinging aggregates, while it is called as skandhas, and at the same time dhatu, objectives, and ayatana, the organs, are also interrelated. But it's not the food, the people, the material aspects of the power and product. In other words, that we are going to, normal people going to respect or follow the Dhamma in terms of the material aspects. As this presentation also could be an extension, as my previous colleagues they wanted to emphasize how this Buddha Dhamma differs from the other entire philosophies. Evam me sutang ekan samayam bhagava kosale sucharikam charamano mahata bhikkhu sangena saddhim yena icchangalam nama kosalam brahmanagamo tadavasare tratra sudam bhagava icchanangale viharati icchanangala vanasande asso sunko icchanangala brahmana gahapatika. I have heard that on one occasion, the Blessed One, on a wandering tour among the Kosalans with a large community of monks, arrived at a Kosalan Brahmin village named Ichanangala. There he stayed in the Ichanangala forest grove. I'm not sure whether the Thanisara translation tells the exact Pali ideas, that it depends on how Dr. Sunil gives more courage. We don't know. Samana kalu bo gotama sakya putto sakya kula pabbajito icchanangalang anupubbato icchanangale viharati icchanangala vanasande tam kopana bhavantam gotamang evam kalyano kitti saddho abhuggato. Now, the Brahmin householders of Ichanangala heard it said, Gotama the contemplative, the son of the Sakyans, having gone forth from the Sakyan clan on a wandering tour among the Kosalans with a large committee of monks, has arrived at Ichanangala and is staying in the Ichanangala forest grove. And of that master Gotama, the fine reputation has spread. Itipiso Bhagava Arahan Samma Sambuddho Vijjacharana Sampanno Sugato Lokavidu Anuttaro Purisa Dhamma Sarati Satta Deva Manusanam Buddho Bhagavati. He is indeed a blessed one, worthy and rightly self-awakened, consummating knowledge and conduct, well-gone, a knower of the cosmos, an excelled train of those persons ready to be tamed, teach of human and divine beings, awakened, blessed, he has made known, having realized it through direct knowledge. So imam lokam sadevakam samarakam sabrahmana makam sasamana brahmanam pajam sadevaka sadeva manusanam sayam abhinyang satche kittva pavedati so idam deseti adi kalyanam madhye kalyanam pariyosana kalyanam satam sabhyanjanam kevala paripunnam parisuddham brahmacharyam pakaseti sadhukopana tatra tatarupanam arahantam dasanam hoti. This world with its devas, maras and brahmas, its generation with their contemplatives and brahmanas, their rulers and common people, has explained the Dhamma admirable in the beginning, admirable in the middle, admirable in the end, has expounded the holy life both in its particulars and in its essence, entirely perfect, surpassingly pure. It is good to see such a worthy one. Atako ichanangalaka brahmana gahapatika tassa ratya achayena pahutam kaddaniyam bojjaniyam adayayena ichanangala vanasando tenupasankaminsu Upasankamitva bahidwara kottake attam su ucha saddha mahasaddha. So the Brahmin householders of Ichanangala, when the night was gone, taking many staple and non-staple foods, went to the gatehouse of the Ichanangala forest grove. On arrival, they stood there making a loud racket, a great racket. So, Tena kopana samayena ayasman agito bhagavato upatta kohoti atako bhagava yasmantan agitang amantesi kepanako nagita ucca saddha mahasaddha kevatta manya vilopeti. Now at that time, Venerable Nagita, one of the Buddha's disciples, was the blessed one's attendant. So the blessed one, the Lord Buddha addressed Venerable Nagita. Nagita, what's this? That loud racket, that great racket? Like fishermen with the catch of fish, like the marketplace where people sell the fish, flesh. So people are shouting, birds and dogs are there, and listen, what's this mess? Because I came to this forest in order to make a hermitage life. Why these people? So Nagita, prevalent answer. Ite bhante chanangalaka brahmana gahapatika pahutam kadaniyam bojjaniyam adaya bahidwara kottake titaba Bhagavanta Bhagavantanyeva uddisya bhikkhu sangha chevati. So Nagita replied, that people came to worship you with foods and lots of things. The Lord, there are the Brahman householders of Ichanangala standing at the gatehouse to the Ichanangala forest grove, having brought many staple and non-staple foods for the sake of the blessed one and the community of monks. So the Buddha said, Mahang nagita yasena samagamang majamayayasu yoko nagita naimasa nikamma sukasa paviveka sukasa upasam sukasa sambodha sukasa nikamalabi asa akichalabi akasiralabi Yasayam nikkamma sukasa paviveka sukasa upasama sukasa sambodha sukasa nikammalabhi akichalabi akasiralabi sotam milha sukam middha sukam labha sakkara siloka sukam sadiyati. So the Lord Buddha replied to Nagita, Nagita, may I have nothing to do with honor. Yasa in Pali, I think, honor and prestige, reputation, I don't know. Nagita, at the same time, honor nothing to do with me. It's very beautiful. I found a nice Pali written verse. I found praise. May I have nothing to do with honor, Nagita, and honor nothing to do with me. Whoever cannot obtain at will, without difficulty, without trouble, as I do. What is Nekkamma sukasa? The pleasure of renunciation. Nekkamma, you know, the Pali word we have learned by Dr. Sunil. The pleasure of seclusion, paviveka sukasa. Upasama sukasa, the pleasure of peace. Upasama sukasa. Sambodha sukasa, sambodhi, you know, the pleasure of self-awakening. Let him consent to this slimy excrement pleasure, this torpor pleasure, right? The pleasure of gains, offerings, and fame. So Buddha asked that people wanted to disturb me because I'm here in the forest having my way of life. I am enjoying through these pleasures, renunciations, seclusions, peace, self-awakening. So why the people disturb me, because it's a nice words. I found that in the Pali, in this, that's why I select this, that he repeated the milla sukam, midda sukam, right? The slimy excrement pleasure, the top, I mean the low, it's lethargic pleasure. So the people are used to labha, satkara, siloka, sammana, the pleasure of gains, offerings, and fame. So the Nagita once again recite and reiterate the Lord Buddha. Adivase tu dani bhante bhagava adivase tu sugato. Adivase adivasana kalo dhani bhante bhagavato yeneva dhani bhagava gamisati tamminna gamisati brahmana gahapatikava nigema cheva janapadacha che seyatapi bhante tulla pusita ke deve vasante yatani nam udakani pavitanti eva mevam ko bhante yena vadhani bhagava gamissanti tammininna gamissanti brahmana gahapatikava nege me cheva janapadache tam kissa hetu tata hi bhante bhagavato sila panyananti. So Nagita said that it is the general people, that's their utmost desire to treat the Lord Buddha. That's why they have come here. So because of the Lord Buddha's all deserved qualities, virtues, right? So let the blessed one acquiesce to their offerings now. Let the one well gone acquiesce now. Now is the time for the blessed one's acquiescence. Lord, now is the time for the blessed one acquiescence. Lord, wherever the blessed one will go now, the Brahmins and the towns and the countryside will be so inclined. Just as when the rain, devas sent rain in fat drops, the waters flow with the inkling. At that same way, wherever the blessed one will go now, the Brahmins of the towns and countryside will be so inclined. Why is it? Because such is the blessed one's virtue and discernment. Again, Buddha. It's a very beautiful, dramatic, it's like a drama dialogue in the stage, but it gives more sense. Mahang nagita yasena samagama machamana yaso. Again, the second time, well, Buddha stress. May I have nothing to do with honor, Nagita? Nagita, honor, nothing to do with me at the same time. So again, he emphasized, I enjoy here in the forest with the pleasure of renunciation, pleasure of seclusion, pleasure of peace, pleasure of self-awakening. So what happened? People come here for food, togetherness, society, and they think, but it really disturbs to me. I hate it. It's like a slimy excrement pleasure, the top of pleasure, the pleasure of gains. You know, labha, satkara, siloka, sammana. Now, Buddha gradually, step by step, come to the core teachings. Asita pita kaita, saitasya ko nagita, uchara passao, eseo tasya nisandhu. If people think that they can follow my Dhamma or they can respect me through give me foods, that is eseo tasya nisandhu. That ends. Their ultimate objective could be. So what happened? When one eats and drinks and chews and savors, there is excrement and urine. That's one's reward. So that's general people's ultimate objective. Piyanam ko nagita viparinamanyata bhava upajhanti Soka parideva dukkha domanasupayasa eso tassa nissana. If this kingdom, kings, and this whole community think that being here to make a more society togetherness, it's I don't appreciate it. When one loves, what happens? There arises the state of change and aberrations, anomaly, changing, deviations. So what happened? People, when they are stuck to one another and keeping the interrelationships and all that, in societal community aspect, it gives necessarily sorrow, lamentation, pain, distress, and despair. That is one's reward. Now coming smooth by smooth, step by step, the core part. Asubha nimitta anu yogam anuyuttasya konagita subha nimitte partikulyata santati eso tassa nissando. When one is done out the Buddhas or the Sakers or the Arahants context, because me, Nagita, I am subscribed to see not the beauty of the world as how the world people are perceived. When one is committed to the theme of the unattractive, asubha nimittanu yogam anuyuttasso, one takes a stand in the loathsomeness of the, I don't know, this loathsomeness word necessarily gives the subtle nuances of the Pali word, of the theme of beauty. That is one's reward. That means Buddha don't see any beauty, or as the worldly people pursue that it is the value. Chasuko nagita passaya tanesu aniccanupassino viharato passai partikulyata santati eso tassa nissando. Now coming to the 6 organs. When one remains focused on the inconstancy of the 6 media of sensory contact, we know eye contact, ear contact, tongue contact, nose contact, body contact, and mind contact. That the way how the organs are working. One takes a stance in the loathsomeness of contact. That is one's reward. So this is totally the different. Panchasuko nagita upadana kandesu upa udayabhyanupassino viharantu upadane partikulyata santati eso tassa nissandoti. When one remains focused on the arising and passing away of the 5 clinging aggregates, the core essence of what Buddha taught, one takes a stance in the loathsomeness of the clinging. That is one's reward. So step by step, Buddha teach Nagita and for us that his determination and his utmost practice and Dhamma is totally different. The way how we are grasped as Dhamma or what it is. Therefore, my final conclusion, and accordingly, this helps us to clearly and consistently understand what this part and how it differs from what we are today talking. So, as Mikhail and other our colleagues emphasize that it is, as Keith said, that it is, we can talk and dialogue and have build up a big conversation, but when it is practiced, the real nuances of the techniques could be emerged as a result. Because, for an example, this sutta, one people can be identified or he can be felt that it's a very simple general aspect. What is the significance of this sutta? But gradually, if carefully we read, when we read this sutta, we can identify that how Buddha gradually step by step, draw our attention to the key part of the key concepts of the Buddha taught. So thank you very much for kindly listening to my narration.
Thank you, Manoj. Yeah, so we've gone for a few minutes past our time, but it would be nice. Any questions to Manoj? Could you?
I just wanted to say that I think you should narrate an audiobook because the way you explain it is really nice. Like the story, the way you tell a story. If you know what I mean. I don't know.
He's a great Julia. Yeah.
The way he chanted Pali, it was nice. Good pronunciation.
Yeah. We are going to ordain him very soon. He's cutting his hair already. Manoj. Any reactions to the questions or comments?
Yeah.
Manoj? Mikhail.
Yeah. I just want to say that that's probably one element of the Buddhist path that often goes missing in the nowadays in the West, because obviously this renunciation part, you can find a lot of people who don't really care about that and go on. And sometimes, I mean, in the Buddhist context, it's not that often, but I think overall in spiritual teachers who are, like becoming the gurus, and they have expensive cars and, expensive lifestyle, a lot of material possessions, and they wouldn't want to look that way, the way you point out how, that's just not what, especially fame. It's not what spiritual path is about, and that goes missing. So
yeah.
Thank you.
Excellent.
Even the example of like Osho or this hot yoga, how is this called? Bikram yoga? He claimed the yogi and spiritual teacher and wanted to have many Rolls Royces, and he didn't care about like virtuous actions.
So Osho, I think, is a really good example because he actually talked about Buddhism, and his like philosophy is kind of said to be closest to it in a sense, but then obviously his spiritual materialism doesn't really fit. So that for Osho, that would be really good sutta to read, I think.
Yeah, excellent. Would you unshare the screen, Manoj?
Yes, thank you.
Yes. Fantastic. No, I think I fully agree with. Could you take it down? Yeah. Okay. Brilliant. So excellent. I think this renunciation part is something that I think the Western world and also much in the Eastern world now, because we are so materialistic, and I think the sutta emphasizes on that. Here there is no rejection of the good thoughts of this people coming to see the Buddha, but I think what he's really trying to say is that the path is different, and one need to realize that the reward and the essence of the spiritual path. So excellent. No, I think I fully you did an amazing contribution, Manoj, as you always do.
That is because of you and all the colleagues and all the reverence. And this sutta, why I was so grasped 3 or 4 years before, one of the good reverend in Sri Lanka, Kosatte Arya Vimala, I used to repeatedly visit him. So
Yeah.
I asked him indirectly. Earlier, I had a notice in my door.
Yeah.
Mahang Atsena Samagama Nagit Macha Maya Yaso. I asked, what does it mean? He said that the Nagis read the Nagita Sutta.
Wow,
So that's why I understood. Actually, it gave me a strong heartbreak shock. Right?
And actually, as Mikhail said, I think the world is talking about religion, spiritual materialism, because we are using the religion for again to multiply this materialistic approach. And I think this is a great reminder of, because see, what is progress in the world? All material achievements. The more and more materialism is going to make you happier and happier. and you find yourself having all the material things but still not happy. So I think it's
excuse me, my one final word, if you, Doctor, give me, that actually I have my utmost gratitude and humble appreciation, because you, Mihail, Lola, Julia, like you people, has been stuck to this. Actually, you are you have chosen you have come to the correct path, I think. But if we invite you to come to Sri Lanka, we have all the facilities, our houses, our vehicles, our brothers, sisters, friends, especially like people, Mihail and Lola, Julia, you have the best place to practice this with the good people and Sri Lankan kind treatment. And people are very honest. And also the Alupotha Dhammarathana Reverend is very kind. And sir, I have no words, and I cannot reimburse. I can pay for Dr. Sunil Kariyakarawana.
Don't praise me.
Right?
There's nothing.
Contributions, right?
No connection with the Yaso.
Right.
Anyway, so folks, it's lovely to meet you all. We had a wonderful time with Pali. All good things have to end. But as I said, this is just a beginning of our study tour. And I totally agree. And actually, I'm very humbled by the level of search, level of scholarship that you are pursuing. All of you, actually. I mean, really, I never underestimate the capacity of all of you. So you've done really, really well and made me proud. And it's such a good, such a pleasure to teach Pali or discuss Pali and discuss suttas. And I think there will be, this is on Pali 101. So let's get into the second level and so on. Okay. But a general remark on your presentations, and I think this was an experiment on my part. I was just wondering how to teach Pali. Should I teach grammar? And I even chose a textbook, and we have not followed the textbook. And this is great. You really go out of the box, and I think which we did. So and I think you responded really well. I mean, some of you could have said, okay, what are you doing? We are here to learn Pali. But no, you just embrace that approach and just sort of jump in the deepest end to read the Pali Suttas, which we did, and chanted, enjoyed, etc. So great. And I would really like each one of you to send a short feedback of the course. This is not to praise me, but really an objective feedback and how we could actually progress the Pali teaching towards entering the words of the Buddha. So please please send me a short, feedback, and we will meet up again very soon in Nevada. Yeah, Bhanthe is organizing his Boli. Are you ready now?
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm in a body. You see?
Isn't that
Body.
really amazing? A bow tree. Wow.
Body.
Gosh. Yeah, we should all visit Nevada. Just forget about Sri Lanka, okay?
Yeah.
Let's go to Nevada. Yeah. Wow, that's beautiful.
That is the Gatha.
Ah.
Jayamunindasa Subodhi Mule Hosimaras Parajavi.
Yeah.
Deva Ganapasanna Eten Satchin Jayasu Maihang Eten Satchin Jayasu Puihang.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Excellent. Yes. So are you going to recite that and bless everybody who did so well today? They worked really hard. Their presentations were amazing. I'm actually very happy.
Yeah.
So over to you, Bhanthe.
Make a wish. Good luck, dear Professor Sunil Kariyakarawana, sir, and our all Dhamma friends. Make a wish right now. Blessings of the Buddha. Ye Santa Chitta Tisarana Saranayata Lokantareva Bumma Chadeva Gunagana Bhyavata Sabba Kalang Ete Ayang tu Deva Varakana Kama Meru Raje Vasanto Santo Saetung Munivaravachanang Sotumaggang Samaggang Sabbe Suchakkavalesu Yakka Deva Brahmano Yang amme katang punyang sabba sampatti sadakang sabbetang anumoditva samagga sasane rata pamadarahita huntu arakhasu visesato sasanassa ca lokassa buddhe bhavatu sabbada sasanam picha lokancha devarakhantu sabbada sadding huntu sukhi sabbe parivarehi attano anigha sumana huntu sasabbehi nyativi Rajatoa, Choratoa, Manussatoa, Gitoa, Udakatoa, Pisachatoa, Kanukatoa, Kantakatoa, Nakhatatoa, Janapadarogatoa, Saddamatoa, Sangdittitoa, Sapurasatoa, Chandahatyasamika Gona Kukura, Avihechkamani Sapadepe, Achataracha Sukara Mahisakarakka Sadihi Nana Bhayatoa, Nana Rogatoa, Nana Padavatoa, Arakkang Ganhantu Etena Satchavajjena Dukkha Upasamindute Etena Satchavajjena Bhaya Upasamindute Etena Satchavajjena Roga Upasamindute Sukhi Digayuka Huntu.
Sadhu, 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 Bhante. Wonderful. And thank you. What an amazing way to end our session. And thank you so much. And we will definitely, and really, throughout this course, your presence and your chanting, your blessings, we all felt. We could not have continued without your support. Okay, so we will meet. We will meet. Yeah, we'll meet everybody in Amsterdam at some point. Okay, we invite you.
Your university.
Very good. Let's meet up. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right, folks.
Thank you, everybody.
You.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you,
everyone.
Thanks, Laura. Thanks, Julia. Thanks, Miguel. Thanks, Manoj. Thanks, Bhanthe. Take care.
Take care. Well done.
Yeah. All the best.
Good luck. All the best.